This is the crossroads of Route 70 and I-75 in Dayton, Ohio, known as Ground Zero in the opioid epidemic.
The local coroner calls the death toll in Ohio a mass casualty event.
For the past 2 decades, this opioid epidemic has spread at an alarming rate, but few areas have been hit as hard as Dayton.
That's not been something we've been real proud of, but the overdoses have been extremely high.
And an often unseen and overlooked victim of the epidemic? Babies.
About 2,000 newborns a year in Ohio go through withdrawal in the hospital.
We had babies that were starting on medication simply because nurses in the hospital did not have time to hold the babies and rock the babies.
When a baby goes through treatment in the hospital, Children's Services gets involved.
This results in 76% of those newborns going straight into the foster care system, which isn't great, considering half the people experiencing homelessness and 75% of those in prison today previously spent time in foster care. This all got foster mom Jill thinking, is there somewhere else these infants could go instead?
We realized that if moms and babies live together and can grow together, they both heal.
Brigid's Path, it became my home, and we became like this little family.
Jill's first-of-its-kind newborn recovery center actually keeps moms who are struggling with addiction with their babies. It may sound risky, but if this works here, it could change the way we think about healing addiction in America.
This is Stand Together Presents, stories, ideas, and advice from changemakers tackling our biggest challenges.
Okay, so this topic is pretty heavy. That's why the community in Dayton has come together to solve it themselves.
I can remember the moment that I was sitting there holding 2 babies who were in withdrawal, and no one knew how to help us.
As a foster parent, Jill saw firsthand that these newborns who need intense 24/7 medical care were being left in the hands of ICUs and foster homes that couldn't provide for their specific needs.
The typical pathway, a mom would show up at the hospital, test positive for whatever substances, and then baby would go into the NICU to go through withdrawal.
And even if mom opts to go into treatment, the vast majority of these babies still go straight into foster care. This perpetuates that cycle of long-term damage, especially since youth in foster care are at a significantly higher risk of abusing substances themselves. And according to Jill, breaking the bond between mother and child this early nearly always causes the mother to relapse.
Because they've lost that hope that they have a chance to parent. Instead, when their moms are given that time and the same kind of love and grace from the community, it gives mom a different incentive. We see a mom who has a new path in front of her with hope.
But our moms, they feel horribly guilty. They know what the baby's going through with withdrawal because so many of them have been through it themselves.
Moms like Mariah.
My name is Mariah, and I am the mother of Glow. By the time of 6 years old, my first relationships were physical abuse, emotional abuse, and sexual abuse. And so my idea of the world was not healthy, so to speak.
Mariah eventually found herself isolated and in an abusive relationship.
It was like I had to do what he said. The whole time, it was like everything was blanketed with the I love yous. But he would flatten the tires at night to keep me from going anywhere. I didn't know he was using meth, and I was sober. And then I got pregnant with Glow because I was constantly getting harmed where Glow was in the womb. I noticed on the days he had his drugs, I didn't get hit. It was almost like I had to make the decision between abuse or using, and which one of those would hurt my baby the most. So I did. I chose to use with him, and it made it manageable to make it through the day or make it through the week. Not even two weeks away from birth, I just couldn't take it one day and I left. And so Glow was born addicted.
It's at this point Child Services in Dayton offers mothers the choice of foster care or the community-led care of Brigid's Path.
I didn't want them to take my baby, so I chose Brigid's Path.
Our nurses, our PCAs, They surround the moms with love.
So instead of separating and alienating them, Jill's program empowers the mother to create a life-changing bond with their babies and get the support they need to keep their families intact.
When mom comes in the door, the baby's smiling, the baby's calm. They know the mother's scent.
As baby goes through withdrawal and heals, moms also go through recovery and heal as well.
All the nurses, they were like the moms I wish I had growing up. They were non-judgmental, they loved Glow, they cared for me, and it became my home.
We see a mom who has a new path in front of her with hope, finally feels like she can be a good parent.
And I worked so hard to get sober, and I'm not going all the way back to the beginning. It's one day at a time, and I'm enjoying just being a mother.
And this new approach is showing promising results. Traditionally, only 24% of exposed babies get to go home with their biological families. But with Brigid's path, that number jumps up to 85%.
We need to change the way that we see these moms. We need to look at the moms for who they are, not for the circumstances they've been in. Because no little girl sets out to grow up and use drugs and have a baby who's born exposed. And if you take away the stigma and provide this loving, supporting community, we see amazing outcomes.
While I was at Brigid's path, I had everyone searching for homes for me. And we are going to move into my very own townhome.
And while the opioid epidemic is far from solved, the success here in Dayton suggests that these kinds of community-based solutions could play a key role in breaking the cycle of addiction in our country. And it begs the question, what other issues could be addressed with this kind of approach?
We have a chance to change generations, but it takes the whole community.
Stand Together partners with changemakers tackling our biggest challenges. To see more stories, follow our channels. And to learn more about how you can partner with us, go to standtogether.org.